Hey everybody, I'm back again to talk to you about a found footage movie from 2017 actually. Now, this movie is basically so you got directed by Fabien Delage, because the only American that plays in this movie is Doc Rand, who plays Blake Turner, who is a police officer who comes from Colorado, and he basically wants to go up the mountain because so the movie starts actually with a French couple, so you gotta have some subtitles in the beginning of the movie, but don't be afraid and don't. So the people that hate subtitles, it goes away after 10 minutes, and then they meet the sort of, like, I'm guessing, operator of the teams of the entire units, and that's a British guy. So uh, the lady that's French can speak English really good, and the guy. Okay, so you've you don't need a translate. You don't need to read a lot of subtitles anymore. So yeah, basically what's happening is they are not getting contact anymore from their camp that's located on the mountain, and they send a helicopter there to see what's wrong, and they lost contact with the helicopter too. So an expedition crew with that Blake Turner guy, who's actually a police officer back in the United States, and a British bio biological scientist, want to go up the mountain with a guide, of course, with a French guide. Now they want to they want to go too because they want to see what happens, and like a documentary, and they want to film things and this, and they have no problems doing that, but they have to follow the guide because the guide knows where to go, and it can be, and he warns them, you're gonna have to sleep in tents, and it's gonna be freezing like hell, cold ground. It's literally cold ground. So now apparently Blake Turner is there because of, in America you've got a Snippy case. The Snippy case apparently is a which happens in a few. If there's a documentary played by Louis Theroux in over aliens, and he oh there are also cattle that are like mutilated, but in a specific way that it's couldn't be done by people. Yeah. Now in this case, the Snippy case, same deal. A horse mutilated in a way that's impossible to be done by a human being. Multiple of these cases, but the Snippy case was the first. Apparently, the horse named Snippy, he was the first one to go, and then he had multiple occasions of these mutilations. So he heard that in the Swiss Alps things were going wrong too. So he flew there, and he asked to go along this mission and go to this camp. So up they go the mountain. Now you can feel the cold. You can feel the cold with them. It's really cold. It's so cold that you're actually, if you're looking at it, and it's not so warm outside, you're gonna get like, oh yeah, where's my blanket? And so they get like these heat packs that you gotta, shake, and then you can put them in your socks or in your clothes and things like that. And Jesus fucking Christ, and they don't. Um, okay, even though they have a tarp for the tents, don't let your feet, your bare feet or feet with socks on, touch the ground because it's freezing. So you really have to be packed in completely. Um, some things happens along the way. A few things happen, like they find a piece of a cattle that's also being mutilated in the same way that Sleepy was mutilated. And the thing is, they want to take it with them, but the problem is it's too big to carry home, and they're still going to the camp. So at some point, what happens is, when they're almost there, the French guide, he's the only one who you got subtitles for. It's actually a shame because he was a good guy. He made jokes. He tried to, make people warm by laughing and things like that. He says, "Go, go, go! Avalanche, avalanche!" And so an avalanche is coming because you hear a boom in the distance. So eventually, the avalanche kills the guide and wounds the boyfriend from the documentary crew. He basically has a burnt foot, basically burned cold. You know what I mean? It's when the foot is so frozen that it's like the foot is burning off. At some point the foot has to be amputated if it gets worse. Now they get at the camp, and what they see is nothing. Only camps and jeeps and helicopters that are under the snow. Nothing nothing like materials or something. And at some point, they find a place with a lot of human bodies, So they start to, okay, they put out their tent there, and what happens then is something or someone is trying to kill them. And that's where I'm gonna leave it for you guys to see this movie. I have to say, it's a good movie. As are there, it's not it's a little bit of slow burn. There's not a lot of things happening when they're just hiking up the mountain. It's like a 2-day hike, 2-day intense, and it's just them feeling cold and things like that. And there's not a lot of that happening until the avalanche, and of course they reach the camp, and then they find nothing, and they don't find the bodies on top of a pile, so all mutilated like shit. So there starts the tension, the bit of a creepy atmosphere, and the movie does deliver and gets gory at some point. It also gets gory. All, I mean, like there are two kills that are pretty gory. Yeah. So that's a plus. So nothing else happens until the third act, when they find the camp. For some reason, they want to stay there, but I think it's because of the fact that the guy with the frozen food has to rest for a while, and also because it's getting dark, and whoever fucked up the place and killed these people are still there. So you know what's gonna happen, of course. So the the American detective Blake Turner, the police officer, takes charge, kinda, and he says, "Look, we're gonna stay here tonight, and tomorrow we're gonna see to get to, like, we're gonna try to see that we can get a way back, and maybe get a transmission with the operator on the foot of the mountain, because they don't have a transmission there. So just have to see what it will be. I can tell you it's worth the wait, in my opinion. It's kind of worth the wait. If you okay, it is a slow burn. There are moments like, but it does have that intense cold feeling. It is not shot in a studio, it's really shot in the Swiss Alps, and you really get that cold feeling that you're taking a blankie and you really are like, Jesus Christ, it's cold. It's a really cold movie, and cold grounds gives you the colds, it's effective at that, and and also the fact that, okay, you find some dead animals that are killed like Snippy. It does give you a tip. What is up there? Okay, are there aliens up there, or just hunters up there? You don't know. You just don't know. And the further they go, the less they got transmission with the log, the guy in the log, the operator that's on the foot of the mountain. So yeah, like I said, everything from tension, building up tension. There's not a build up. It's like, bam, they're in the camp, bodies are there, and they stay the night, and shit starts to happen right away. So I can recommend this movie because I liked it, because the acting was good, and it had the third act was really good, really good. Some good gore, some good acting, and okay, not a tension build up, what I always like, but tense at the end in the third act. So watch Cold Grounds for 2017. Enjoy.